Stampers, welcome back to my studio. This is Deb Valder and I am so excited to show you our new combo in the Teaspoon of Fun shop. It is a combo that is made up of 3 items. Okay, so we have a stamp set, we have a set of stencils, and we have the dies to cut them out. These are all sold as a unit. They are absolutely gorgeous, and I just wanted to show you how it is all done. It's so easy, so pretty. So let's get started. So these are the things we're going to be using in this combo. It's got the stencils, it's got our stamp set, and it's got the die to cut out the flowers. So let's start with stamping our flowers first. I'm going to bring in my Misty here and just stamp this down. All right, I just like to maximize my paper, so we're going to just put that right there and see what we got. For ease of cleanup, I'm going to ink up my stamp with my Wow pad. That makes it a whole lot easier to clean. And stamp it down. Grab there we go. I'm going to do it one more time. Right there in the middle. Our STAMPendable is an awesome tool. It really does a very good job getting it done evenly, and it's gorgeous. All right, so we're going to take that, we're going to clean like to wipe them off. I'm going to leave that in there because I'm going to go back and make some more. So I'm just going to leave that in there, but I wanted to clean it off first. All right, so there's that. So now what we're going to do is to add the color to our tulips. The first thing I need to do is to adhere this temporarily. So I'm just going to take my Easy Runner and switch it out for my repositionable tape. Okay, just add a little bit of this to the back to hold it in place, just like that. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll also add it to my stencils. So let's just add a little bit here. And I'm going to position this over my tulips. Okay, I'll add some of my tape here, which is this tape right here. All of the links to the products that I'm using are going to be down in the description below, or you can click on the little eye above there and it'll take you right to this blog post. All right, and they'll be in there also. So I'm just going to take this and lay everything down. Now what I'm going to do is to take my pencil and just kind of position these little squares right here, and that's going to line up each and every one of my next stencils. Okay, so for this one right here, we're going to start with our lighter color. I'm going to use Distressed Oxides, and those are down in the links below also. I'm going to use Squeeze Lemon for the first one. I will have more samples for you on my blog, so make sure you head on over to there. Like I said, in the little eye above there, you're going to see the links for that. So I'm just going to lightly color in some of the tulip right here. Okay, I leave a little bit of white. Okay, that looks good to me. All right, I'm not going to clean it off because, like I said, I'm going to do a bunch of these because they're so fast and so easy. Okay, All right, so this right here is glued down so that the next time I put my next stencil on, which is going to be the more detailed, the more detailed little guy right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to line up these squares. Okay, let me find the other one. You can also just kind of go with the you can actually go just with the original one and just kind of line it, but this also ensures that you're kind of spot on here, okay, because these line up perfectly. All right, I like using my tape here. All right, repositionable tape really does make it so much easier. All right, so I've got my more mustard. I am not going to change out my brush because I'm still in the yellow family. And now what I'm going to do is to just brush on some color, but not a whole lot, okay? This is leaving some of the dark, just like that. All right, I'm just going to take this, lift it up just a little bit to see. Oh, look at how pretty that is. I'm going to go just a little bit darker. There we go. Let's see if that's a little bit darker. Perfect. Look at how pretty that is. Oh, I just love it. All right, now we're going to start with our greens. All right, so those are the yellows for the flower. Now we're going to do the greens. Lining everything up again. So I'm going to take the one that is more open, and we're going to line these up with the little squares right here. Again, making it just so much easier. Okay, see how pretty that is? Whoops. Alrighty, now let's take our tape. And I'm using the same tape, so this tape goes a long way. There we go. Alrighty, so let's take a new brush because we're going to work into our greens. For this, I'm going to use the, again, Distressed Oxides. Links are below. I'm going to start with the Bundled Sage. I thought that would look really pretty with this yellow. And we're just going to do the whole thing with the Bundled Sage. This is my lighter green. Okay, and now we're going to go through and use my, I wanted something really dark, so I used the Rustic Wilderness. All right, so let's take this one off. See how pretty that is? Let's go with our Rustic Wilderness. And again, I'm going to line up these little squares because that is the easiest way to do it. Okay, add my tape. And go with my green brush. And this is the darker of the two. And just cover everything because this is only giving you the highlight spot. Okay, let's just see how dark that got. I'm just lifting up the top so that we can take and put it back down. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? Alrighty, let me just go and grab this little spot right here. Okay, I think we got all of that really good. Alrighty, and now what I'm going to do, remember this was semi-stuck, okay, and then we can just rub that off. Okay, we just rub that off. Let's put the top on that. I'm going to add it again to my Misty. And the reason I'm doing that is to just give it a more crisp look. Okay, we're going to go right over the top. Comes out. Oh, see how it just kind of really made it a little bit more crisp. Everything is lined up. All Alrighty, now we're ready to cut it out. Oops, let's clean that off again here. Grab my cleaner. We have these and the cleaners here. And on my blog, I also have a recipe so that you can make your own stamp cleaner, so you know exactly what's in it, and then you're good to go. I just like to wipe this off too. There we go. Alrighty. All right, I'll be right back. We're going to take and cut this out with the die that comes with it, okay? And it's absolutely gorgeous. All right, I'll be right back. And here is my finished product. So all we have to do is add that with a few little pieces, and we are good to go. So I'm going to finish this up. I will come back and show you what I've done. Okay, so here's just a few of the samples that I've kind of worked up. This one right here is absolutely gorgeous. I kept it with the pink mauve theme, but let me just show you some of the pieces that I used. I used our Hello, which is right here. I cut out 3 of them, and I'm going to show you how to do that very shortly. I added them together. It gives a little bit of dimension to it. It's just beautiful. Here are the tulips that I did, and then this right here is one of my favorite nesting dies. That's this one right here. I love it. It absolutely lends itself gorgeously. Each one of these has a different design on it. We have a set of rectangles that do the same thing, but it puts the design on the outside of the circle instead of the inside. It'll cut out a plain circle, and I can use that on something different. And then underneath here is another one of our brand new dies, and that one is this little guy right here. And I save all of these little flowers right here to use as a shaker card. I can use them on another card, but this is one of our brand new stencil slash cutouts, and that's what I used for the background right there. Very, very pretty. All right, the next one that I did was this one right here. Again, using that same nesting die. The same nesting die right here. I love it. I think it's just so very, very elegant and so pretty. And for this one, I used one of our sentiments, and I used with Sympathy, but you could use anything on that. Added a little bit of a bow, kept the colors pretty much neutral, you know, your 2 colors of yellow, your 2 colors of green, very pretty. So that's the next one that I did. And then this one right here is very super simple, okay? Just did white on black on a white card. I added this really pretty sentiment that we have in the shop, okay? Spring, summer, autumn, winter, beautiful fonts. I love it. And then I added, I don't know if you realize this or not, but in the stamp set, it does come with sayings, but it also comes with 2 snails and a ladybug. So I cut out one of the ladybug, or I stamped one of the ladybugs. And in this set, not only do you have the dies to cut out the flowers, but you also have the die to cut out the ladybug and the 2 snails. So that's really kind of a little bonus right there. All right. And then, so that one was super easy. Added a little bit of a bow, and we are good to go on that one. And then this one has a lot of really nice elements to it. So I started out with one of my favorite embossing folders, and that would be this one right here. It is so detailed. It's a 3-dimensional folder. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So I used that as the background. So that's kind of peeking through right there. I used one of our brand new dies in the shop. That's this little guy right here. You can make summer flowers, you can make an Easter basket, you can make a leprechaun cauldron. This right here, you can also make into a Halloween cauldron, a little bow. It's just beautiful. It's got a lot of elements. You're going to see me using this a lot. I love it. Then what I did to the basket, because I took this basket right here without the handle, okay, I took this basket right here, I ran it through my 3D embossing folder, which is this one right here, to make it look like a basket, and then I added the bow out of that same set. Now this one right here, instead of doing color on color, what I did was I used a totally different color on top of the yellow, which was, it just came out really pretty. I used one of our oval dies to cut out the middle and pop it up. It's a very, very nice card. It can be used for any occasion. But again, what I did was I cut off the bottom. I stuck it inside the little planter, and look at how different it looks. But again, using that same triple combo, love, absolutely love it. This was the circle die that I used to cut out this circle right here, or oval die, sorry, that I used to cut out the center of that one. So now let's take, I'm going to actually show you how I put one of these cards together. So let me grab all of the elements to the card, which are right here. All right, so I've already tied my bow, okay. Here is my card base right here. Here is my layer, and on my layer I just added some of our foam tape that you can find in the shop, and I'm just going to take this off and add it to my card base. This is how super simple this is. Now you saw me do the flowers, and I always do a whole bunch of them as long as I'm going to do I do that with most everything, but as long as I'm going to do one, I might as well do a whole bunch of them. All right, so then what I did was I cut this little frame out like I do with my words, like this little set of words right here with my hello right here. I cut out 3 sets of them, and I glued them together, and I'm just going to glue them right on here. All right, before I do that, I'm going to show you how I glue these together. So the best glue on the market, I always tell you this, is our little Nuvo glue right here. And let me just grab some scrap paper, and I'm going to show you how I do this and how easy it is, because people just don't realize how easy it is. So you can actually put the glue on the back and adhere it to this, but I like to put it on the front so I know what I'm kind of doing. I never know what I'm doing, but I always try. So you're going to take this and you're going to just dab it. You don't even have to squeeze. All right. So I just kind of just dab it all the way around. Make sure you get some good coverage around the outside. I'm just dabbing it. I'm not even squeezing it. Okay. And you'll see some are fatter than others, you know, globbier than others, but I'm going to show you how I take care of that so it doesn't ooze out all over. All right. So here's that. And always put in between, always put your cap back on your glue, because if not, it's going to dry out and you're going to get clogged. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tweezers, okay? I love these tweezers. They're in the shop. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that. The glue is here. So if I have any globs, I'm just going to take and just tap it off, and then I'm going to add this layer to it. All right, and the reason I like the liquid glue is because it's very forgiving. So if I'm not centered, if I'm not, if I'm off a little bit, I can actually slide it to where it's supposed to be. Now I'm going to take and put my next layer on by just dabbing with the glue again. I always like to make sure I got it on the outside really good, because you don't want any outsides to, there we go. You don't want the outsides to kind of pop up. All right. All right. Now we're going to get rid of the big globs by taking your tweezers and gluing it down. So now, instead of using pop dots on little intricate things like this, I can take and just use my layers, my 3 layers, and you saw how fast that is. All right, now what we're going to do is glue this to the bottom, and I want to put this one on before I put the frame on, because I want to make sure that I have room for it. So again, I'm just dabbing the glue. There we go. Put your top back on in between adhesives. Okay, tap it off, and we're going to take and put it right here on the bottom layer, on the bottom of our card. Okay, so just center that and set her down. Super, super easy. Okay, now let's make sure that I still have room for this one. I do. So let's take and I'm just going to turn this inside out so I don't get my beautiful frame all dirty. And that's why just recycling some of your old computer paper, you know, anything like that, you can just use like this and then just throw it away. I love to recycle. And we're just going to keep dabbing. I'm not even squeezing this glue. You'll notice I haven't done the frame yet. I always do the frame last. And we are almost done. Okay, now I'm just going to go right around the frame. Okay, put the top back on your glue. Pick it up with your tweezers. Okay, get the worst of it off of there. And then we're going to take and add it to our frame, or to our card base, sorry. The frame is going to be added to your card base. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is to take this, and I take my STAMPendable, and this just makes it so smooth and even. All right, just check, make sure I got that nice and straight. See that? You can do this, but you're going to catch. So I always turn it over, use my STAMPendable, and you thought it was just for your stamps and your MISTI, but it's for a lot of different things. All right, so stay tuned. All right, so now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add one of these two little guys. I'll just add this one right here. I told you I always make sure that I have a whole bunch of them, then I can just put them all together. So what I'm going to do is in the center right here, I'm going to take one of our thick pop dots, okay, and just stick one here and one here. And then I'm going to just kind of see, I'm going to put some adhesive right here and right here. Then I'm going to see where these two land. So I'm going to put it on the tip of this one and the tip of this one. Okay, so a little bit here and a little bit here. I think those were the two. Okay, put the top back on your glue in between gluing so that it doesn't dry out. Okay, so we're going to take this and just lay it down here. And the reason I put those pop dots, the 3D foam squares in the middle is so that it doesn't cave in when you get to mail it. And then we just glued these two together just like that. And then we're going to take our adhesive here, put a little bit right here, add my bow. Okay, we're going to let that dry right like that. I'm going to go grab one more thing. This is our Morning Dew, okay? And I'm just going to put a few little drops onto my card like this. And what it does is it looks like it's going to dry, and it's going to just look just like it's little raindrops. Yep. Just like that. See, it looks like there's little raindrops. Put a little tiny one right here. This is translucent, so you can see through it, and it really does look like rain when it's dried. So I'm just going to set that aside. Again, this is a very generic card, so I can grab it for whatever I need it for. Sympathy, thinking of you, whatever I need it for, I have it. But isn't that pretty? Let me bring in some of the other ones to show you. I'll move this one out of the way because that's wet. It'll just take about 10 minutes for it to dry. Again, here's our Sympathy. I used 3 layers of the words. Isn't that pretty? Here's the one with the little hello. This is probably my favorite one because it's got so many elements to it. It's got the little backdrop. Don't ever be afraid to not use your more than one die at a time. So I used a die for this one and I used a die for this. It just gives it so much more texture. It's so pretty. And then here is our beautiful little spring card right here, and this one is to die for. Like I said, I just kind of manipulated the bottom part right here, cut it off, and then added my little basket, and it just came out so cute. Again, if you leave your cards generic like these, I could have left a saying off of this and just left it nice and plain, but spring is coming, and you'd never know it here in New York because we've got so much snow, but these you can just leave them generic. That is kind of a generic card, but anyway, I don't mean to keep going on. I just wanted to say thank you for stopping by. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of us. Remember to click the little eye up there. It'll bring you right to this blog post, or you can take and click on any of the links below in the description. That'll get you all of the things that we used on these cards tonight. You take care, have a great day, and thank you so much for stopping by.